Takshaka bribed the one healer who could have saved Parikshit, turned him back, and then killed the king through deception. Ādi Parva, Book 1, Chapter 46. In the previous chapter, Janamejaya questioned his ministers about his father's death, and they praised Parikshit as a just and virtuous king who ruled for 60 years. They had begun recounting how, while hunting, he came upon a silent sage and placed a dead snake upon the sage's shoulders in a moment of anger. This chapter reveals what came of that affront. The ministers continued their account. That king, hungry and weary from the hunt, had placed the dead serpent on the sage's shoulders and returned to his city. The sage bore a son of great renown, born of a cow, Shringi by name, blazing in his own radiance, fierce in valor, and exceedingly quick to anger. While his father had gone to Brahma to pay homage and had departed with the god's leave, Shringi heard the news from a companion. His father had been humiliated, wronged by your father without cause. The ministers reminded Janamejaya that this sage had done no wrong, practiced the most intense tapas, and was self-controlled and pure, luminous with discipline, restrained in every limb, of good conduct and noble speech, steady, free from greed and envy, aged, established in the vow of silence, and a refuge for all living beings. Hearing this, Shringi was filled with fury. Though still a boy, in his wrath he excelled even his elders. He touched water in ritual readiness, blazing as though with inner fire, and in his rage he spoke the curse that followed. He who cast a dead serpent upon my blameless teacher, let Takshaka, in his wrath, strike him down with his venom within 7 nights from this day. O wicked one, witness the power of my tapas. Then the boy went to where his father was and reported what he had done. That tiger among sages, rather than rejoicing, sent word at once to Parikshit. My son has cursed you. Be on your guard, O Lord of the earth. Takshaka shall strike you down. Hearing those terrible words, Parikshit was filled with dread of Takshaka, foremost among serpents, and kept vigilant watch. When the 7th day arrived, the Brahmarshi Kashyapa set out hastening toward the king. Takshaka, lord of serpents, caught sight of him on the road and called out, Where are you going in such haste, and what do you intend to do? I go to where Parikshit, foremost among Kuru kings, is to be burned by the serpent Takshaka. I go quickly to cure him. Once I have attended to him, no serpent will be able to harm him. Why do you wish to revive one bitten by me? Tell me what you desire, and I will grant it today. Go back to your home. When Kashyapa answered that he went in search of wealth, Takshaka, honoring that great soul, addressed him gently. Whatever wealth you would seek from the king, take even more than that from me alone, and turn back, O sinless one. Thus addressed by the serpent, Kashyapa, best among all who walk on 2 feet, received from Takshaka as much wealth as he desired and turned back. After the Brahmin had departed, Takshaka approached by deception. Parikshit was vigilant and seated within his palace, yet Takshaka burned him with the fire of his venom. After that, O tiger among men, you were consecrated for kingship. All of this we saw and heard ourselves, the minister said, and we have told you everything in full, dreadful as it is. We have told you of your father's passing, and of the grievance of the sage Uttanka. Now decide what is to be done. Janamejaya asked how they had come to know of the encounter between Kashyapa and the Lord of Serpents in that uninhabited forest. By whom had it been seen and heard, and how had it reached their ears? Hear from whom we learned of it, the ministers replied. A certain man had earlier climbed that very tree, in search of dry wood for fuel, ascending a tree whose branches were already withered. Neither the serpent nor the Brahmin noticed him sitting there among the boughs. When Takshaka burned the tree, that man was reduced to ash along with it. Yet by the power of the Brahmin, O Lord of Kings, he was restored to life together with the tree. That man then came to this city and reported everything that had taken place between Takshaka and Kashyapa, exactly as it had happened. This is what we have told you, O king, as it occurred, and as we heard it. Having heard it, act now as you see fit. Hearing the words of his ministers, King Janamejaya was overwhelmed with grief. Stricken with sorrow, he wrung his hands together. The lotus-eyed king let out long, hot sighs again and again, and tears flowed from both his eyes. At last, filled with grief, he spoke. Having heard your account of my father's passing to Svarga, the heavenly world, my resolve is now firm. Hear what it is. I believe I must act without delay against the wicked Takshaka, for it was he who took my father's life. Had that wicked one not fulfilled the sage Shringi's curse himself and burned the king, my father would surely have lived. What would Takshaka have lost if the king had lived, saved by Kashyapa's healing power and by your wise counsel? But that one, through corrupt temptation, turned away Kashyapa, best of Brahmins, even as he came ready to revive the unconquered king. This is a grave transgression, that he gave wealth to a Brahmin, so that the king would not be revived. Doing what is dear to Utanka, what is greatly dear to myself, and what is dear to all of you as well, I shall render due retribution for my father. This chapter completes the account of the death of Parikshit and Janamejaya's resolve. In the next chapter, Janamejaya takes his solemn vow of the Sarpa Satra to avenge his father's death. The sacrificial ground is prepared. An omen of incompletion is spoken at the outset, and serpents in their millions begin to fall into the sacred fire. The journey continues in the next chapter.